he has not yet ruled out possible future interest in the NBA. Also, in college basketball, we have more players transferring. NBA draft. The deadline to declare for the draft was on Sunday. You have until June 1st to pull your name out, and the draft lottery will be on May 17th. Guys declaring: Michigan's Moussa Diabate, Duke's Paolo Banchero, Trevor Keels, and AJ Griffin, Kentucky's Shaedon Sharpe, and Kansas's Ochai Agbaji and Christian Braun. Notable guys staying in school are Michigan's Hunter Dickinson and North Carolina's Caleb Love. In the portal, you have two notable guys, Purdue guard Eric Hunter and Texas center Trey Mitchell. Speaking of the transfer portal, there was a recent study done that was released on ESPN that found that 54% of FBS, so that would be the football bowl teams, 54% of the FBS players to enter the transfer portal moved to new schools. This covers from the beginning of the transfer portal in 2019 through the 2021 season. It was also found that 5% of the entrants withdrew their names, and 41% were actively in the portal still looking for a place. It also revealed that December and January have been the most active months, and football had the most transfers out of any sport, which makes sense. They have the biggest rosters, they have the most players. It would make sense they have the most total players. Basketball had the highest percentage of players, which again makes sense. 15-man rosters, so fewer players, but fewer spots to crack the lineup, and guys are going to go and look for places where they're going to be able to play. North Carolina State has given athletic director Boo Corrigan a contract extension through 2027. University Chancellor Randy Woodson cited a sharp upward trajectory for NC State sports as a big reason for the extension. Corrigan joined the university from West Point in 2019 and has been on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee as well. NCAA President Mark Emmert has announced he will resign effective June 2023. Emmert has been in the position since 2010 and will remain in the role until a new hire is made or June 30th, 2023, whichever comes first. Press release confirmed that it was a joint decision between Emmert and the NCAA's Board of Governors. He's been often and rightly criticized for some of his decisions and some of the things that have gone down during his tenure, including matters dealing with the NIL and certain resources available for athletes. Many reporters, I noticed on Twitter, were voicing their excitement and their approval of this move, saying it was a long time coming. So hopefully the next president of the NCAA will have a more successful and more effective and more positive tenure. Lastly, for this episode, we're going to look one more time at the NHL playoff picture. The playoffs will start on Monday. About 2 or 3 games left for everybody. We're going to start in the East. Florida has the top seed with Toronto and Tampa Bay getting in from the Atlantic, and Carolina, Pittsburgh, and the New York Rangers in the Metropolitan Division. Boston has a wild card, and Washington has a wild card. Washington is 1 point behind Pittsburgh, and Boston is 3 points behind Tampa Bay, so they could still jump from that wild card to a regular, divisional playoff berth. In the West, there are 5 spots clinched so far. Colorado has the top spot. Minnesota and St. Louis are also in from the Central. That's done. Calgary and Edmonton in the Pacific are clinched as well. Currently, the Los Angeles Kings have the last spot in the Pacific Division, 6 points ahead of the Vegas Golden Knights. Nashville and Dallas have the wildcard spots. Vegas and Vancouver are still alive for wildcard spots. Vegas could conceivably also catch Los Angeles, as I was saying before. Nashville has a 4-point lead over Vegas, so Vegas would basically need to win all its games to get in off of that. And Dallas has a 3-point lead over Vegas. Vancouver just barely hanging in there, 7 points behind Nashville and 6 behind Dallas. That's going to do it for this edition of the Travis on Sports podcast. Be sure to pay attention to the NFL draft this weekend and keep up with the show on all our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and whatever podcasting platform you're using to listen to the show right now. Be sure to also check out the Football Savant podcast and the footballsavant.com for more football information, especially with this draft weekend. We will have some content coming out throughout the week, just about every day this week, concerning the draft. And thanks for listening again, and I will be back with another episode next week.